Welcome to an episode part 2 of Life is Better with You here. We are still with Dalia, and we have her support system, her mom and her sister, Veda, and her mother, Dionysia. Thank you guys for joining with us today. Of course. Having a beautiful conversation with Dalia. She's had an amazing story, and she talked so highly of her support system that I wanted to have you guys on, and I wanted to hear your perspective of what she went through from your eyes. How was her experience impacting you? And I would like to start with you, Mom. How was it impactful for you? And I know as a mother, it is hard to see your baby go through something. It is very hard. And what touched me the most, and this is going to sound silly, is when you told me you guys were in bed together like sardines. My son had a surgery, and with boys it's different because boys are always trying to be like, I don't need you. Da, da, da. And I'm sitting at the bedside waiting for him to be like, Mom, you can get in bed with me. And I'm like, do you need me to get in bed with you? And he's like, no, Mom, I got it. I'm like, but are you sure? And he's like, no. And so I wait, and like an hour later, he's like, Mom, can you get him? I couldn't get in bed with him fast enough. Aww. And so, but there's a comfort of being in your mother's bed or being in bed with your mother. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I got in bed with him, he went right to sleep. So how was that moment of being in bed with your daughter and being able to comfort her?
That's crazy. Because a wave of something just went through me because I went back to that moment. Mm-hmm. Just honestly, like gratefulness, just thankful that I could have that moment and I wasn't doing a picture of me in her hand or planning her funeral that week.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just, even though it was a journey and it was a process, for me, I still just kept like thanking God because we hear so many stories, especially lately in the city of like Columbus or even Ohio. I know they're calling it like the new Chi-Town. But wow. You hear about so many kids and teenagers passing away from gunshots. So just thanking God, like, yo, I get to still have this moment with her. And she's not really a touchy-feely person.
Oh, so, okay.
So to still be able to
cuddle her.
Yeah, and be there. If that's all I could do. And I mean, because you don't know what to do. So in that moment, at least, I can be that for her. So, yeah.
I always tell parents, and I think we don't remember this, but these two are the only two people in the world who knows what your heartbeat sounds like from the inside.
And my son.
And your son. Mm-hmm. Sorry, son, we won't forget you. But those 3 people are the only people in the world who knows what your heartbeat sounds like from the inside. Mm-hmm. So when they're not feeling well, that skin-to-skin contact, that ability to hear home again does something for them. So I'm sure she was happy to have you in that bed, touchy-feely or not. She was happy to have you in that bed, sardines and all. It was good to be packed in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how comforting was that to have Mom in bed with you?
It was really comforting, to just have somebody by my side in that hard time.
Okay.
Especially that person being my mom, so.
Yeah. And I can tell, when we were talking earlier, how important she is to you. Not just in that moment, but just overall in your life. It sounds like this is your ride or die. This is your A1 from day one. She has always been there. Yeah. She rocks with you. She's going to be there if nobody else is.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we also have your younger sister here.
Yes.
Veda. Thank you for coming on, Veda.
Welcome.
So what was it like for you when your sister got shot?
Well, I just remember when I got the call, I literally was like in shock for like a good 3 minutes because I got the call from Christy A, and then I was like, what? And like, it just wasn't like, I thought she was joking. I literally thought she was joking. I was like, that's not funny. And then, so when I got off the phone with her, I was literally until because she told me to call my mom like right after that, and I just couldn't because I was just like, I just had to process everything, and then I called my mom. She'll tell you like I was stuttering, like I couldn't even like tell her. Like,
Wow.
And I just felt so like I didn't even know she was alive, so I was just like I didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
I just know that day that was because I didn't get to see her that day either, but yeah, that was a hard time because it's my best friend and it's my sister, and like it was just like came to me like not having a sister anymore. Like I couldn't imagine it, so it was pretty hard.
That had to be hard, and then to be the one to have to call your mother.
Yeah, I thought she was playing. I remember like 2 seconds ago. It was August 12th, and I know I think earlier she thought it was 1 or 2 in the morning. It was about like 11:15 p.m. because I was working at Amazon. We were moving to Atlanta so I go back and forth. So they haven't had me every day consistently for the past few years because I've been back and forth to from Ohio to Atlanta. So even with any issues, I will say kudos to even the family that they have here, like her father, my mom, who've held it down. Like when I'm away though, which probably adds to some of the abandonment things. But we were all moving back. The family had came to agreement August 13th to Atlanta. I already signed a lease. Another lease was COVID, but we were going back because the entertainment industry started to open back up. So I got a little job at Amazon and another online job. So it was my last day, and I was supposed to be there till 6 in the morning. I got there at 10. I FaceTimed these two and Christie, and only this one answered. I just had a feeling
something wasn't right.
I wasn't supposed to be on my phone, and so I was like, "Where's your sisters?" And she was like, That's that's what she said. Ride or die. You know what I'm saying? She was not snitching. So,
I don't know.
But Dalia was like, yeah. You know?
So she knew they had snuck out. Okay.
And I was like, oh, well, I'm about to come home. That's what I'm about to leave. And so I went to the station. I said, I'm not feeling good. It's COVID, so they let everybody leave.
Yeah.
We had a little pinch. So I'm in the car. I'm about to get off of the exit. And Veda, she FaceTimes me. And she was just crying. And I was like, I didn't understand anything. She said,
she couldn't get it out.
I said, what? They said something about that. I was like, what? Like, I could not understand her. I didn't know what she was saying. But then while she was on the phone, I got a beep from Christie. But Christie was outside and there was cop lights in her setting. And she said, Miss Dynesha, so we're outside. We was going for a walk, and like she's
the long way around.
She's still trying to. They still trying to cover. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of and Dalia got shot. I said what? And I'm and then the cop takes her phone, and he said, Are you her mom? And I said, whose mom? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I thought it was they were pranking me. Mm-hmm. And he was like, just meet us at Children's Hospital. Oh. And I said, what? And they said, your daughter got shot. They didn't tell me if she was, I haven't really talked about it either in a setting with
these two
of them. Yeah. And he said, they didn't tell me if she was alive, if she was paralyzed. If I said what, so I swerved, I beat them there. So I run in, they don't let me in because it's COVID. I said, well, just can you guys tell me if she's okay? I got a call. I don't even know if it's real. They said, and so they kept calling her like Llama. That was her Jane Doe name because she didn't have an ID on her. And so I was like, they was like, oh, I'm like, I see them whispering. And I was like, I'm probably the nicest person in the world, but you guys know what they say about mothers. People. There's another, and I said, I was like, what are you whispering about? I was like, what? I said, is she okay? And they was like, ma'am, she's on her way. Not once did anyone reassure me that she's alive or that something like, so for 37 minutes of my life, it was like frozen. Cause I'm like, I didn't know if my firstborn was here or not.
Right.
So now I'm trying to call her dad, my mom. I feel so, like she didn't even know that she snuck out. So she felt bad. She felt bad because she's like, man, I should have told. My dad was like, what? 29 is his favorite number. She was born on September 29th. So this is like, she's his first granddaughter. Mm-hmm. So he got here swiftly and he lives 2 hours away. So now it's like us, a whole bunch of family outside. Mm-hmm. I think even my god sister came. Some of my friends came. We're just, because they won't let us in. And so they came out, they talked to her father and I, and they said, well, only one of you can go in. And I was like,
it's not a question.
Yeah. So finally, when they let me in, I felt like I was like, if this was a movie, you would hear like my footsteps, like walking in the hallway. And I'm still in this. They said, I said, is she? They said she is alive, but we don't know the condition.
That does not help.
I don't know if it made it worse.
Right.
So imagine you got her on the other end. Where's my mom? And then they're just giving me the whole complete runaround. Mm-hmm. We got the family outside the Children's Hospital just waiting. And so I go in and they have her on, it was the room where you see corpse. She was on a metal table with a sheet over her with blood. And I look to the left and all I see is her clothes with blood on it. And so I'm just like, I'm trying to prep myself for what is about to happen. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Cause I cannot even imagine this. And you're reliving this all over again. Yeah. And I can see you're getting emotional about this. This is your baby.
Yeah. And so, and she don't want to look at me.
I know she keep looking at me. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
And even like walking up, because she wasn't saying anything. They had her like on her stomach. And so all I see, so for any parent, like that's the visual you see. You see clothes that you know your child wears cut up with blood all over it. And then the sheet of blood. And she's not in a bed. She's on a metal table. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Nothing about that says she's okay.
Yeah. But then the nurse or somebody whispered, they said, your mom is here. And then she just started like screaming and crying. Like I said, I know we all have different perspectives on what it was. And she was like, mommy, mommy, mommy. She couldn't stop saying mommy. And I just, in that moment, so you know how you said you thought about your hoodie, like, dang, why'd they cut that up? In that moment, it's like, I wanted to whoop her. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to cry. I was like, why would she do this? Mm-hmm. Why would she do this? So, but I just like hugged her and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, she knows who I am. She's talking. She's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just hugged her. I don't know how long we hugged. And I was numb. I couldn't even cry. And I know it was a process. It was a journey because where she was shot, it was through her right gluteus maximum, but it went through her tailbone, so it broke her tailbone, and it went right here. And they said it was less than a centimeter from paralyzing her, killing her, exploding everything. And for me, that's God, because it didn't touch a nerve. It went through a bone. So it's almost like it went through its own tunnel. Even though it did hit her, it went through its own tunnel and then it stopped right before it could do anything.
Massive damage.
Yeah. So just giving him praise and that, like learning how to walk again and doing all this, it was a lot. And I think a lot of us in our culture, like as far as mental health, they don't understand. I will never understand how it feels to be shot. And guys, I don't want to experience, but to still have the bullet inside of her, because they said it will do more harm taking it out. And they said if it comes out, sometimes we have cases where it just comes out how it came in. At this point, they said something has formed around it to just cover it, because our bodies will do that. And just the other day, I don't know if you might like what you told me the other day when you was thinking about it.
What?
She told me that she does think about it every day, but even like about being alive or not, because not knowing if it's going to shift or move and do something. So to be this young and constantly have to think about that, like, man, I have something inside of me that could that was intended to kill me. You know what they say, what the enemy means for bad, you know, God will turn it around
for good.
Yep. And so to go through that and think that constantly, I don't think anyone we're not thinking about that every day. We're not waking up and like, oh man, I have something inside of me. So for us, family, I don't think everyone understands that. And so
what her process is every day.
Yeah. They think I'm coddling her or like, so I'll be like, yo, chill. Like her, you can't talk to her the same way you're going to talk to Joe Schmo or this, that, and the third. And so just the PTSD, my word, this is crazy.
That's okay.
Like
this is different because now you're verbalizing everything you've been thinking, and it's different because you think this stuff all the time, but to actually speak it and to speak it to your baby.
Yeah.
That you've never had to do. You've never had to verbalize how you've been feeling.
Yeah.
And it's hard for her to look at you because are you now feeling some type of way about her perspective?
I just can't look because I don't want her to cry.
Okay. So here we are. She's caring about your feelings. You're also caring about her feelings, and you're managing what you say. Because I can tell you're watching your words too. And Veda's in the middle like, all right, I'm just going to sit here until they call on me. Yeah. So everybody's managing everybody else's feelings. So I can tell there's a lot of love here. And everybody's perspective is different, and nobody can know exactly what you went through. That is totally your experience. And I love that you brought up the fact that she still has this object in her. And none of us have to wake up and think about that. Nobody has to do that but you. That is a soul experience. But the thing I want you to remember, God created you. If he wanted you, he would take you. He's not ready for you. He wants you here to give your gift. And nothing is going to take you out till he's ready. Okay? You are in control. You're supposed to be here. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You are, like I said, you have a beautiful spirit. Now I know where it comes from. She is full of life. You are very well protected. You have an amazing system. This
Thank
one
you.
covered for you, even though she knew she was shy. I don't know where they at. I don't know. I'm like, dude, she's shy. You tell her, please. But that's love. And everybody came together for you. Mm-hmm. So you are also, when we talk about trauma, so you have the PTSD, you have the complex. You two have that secondary trauma. Mm. Okay, that vicarious trauma. It didn't happen to you, but you're living it through her. Because as mom, you recall that whole scenario very specifically. You could see it like it happened yesterday, can't you? And it brings up emotions like it happened yesterday. You remember the call. You remember not being able to speak. You remember how that felt. That's all secondary trauma. So each of you have a trauma from this, just at different levels. Do you see how that impacts the whole family? Yeah. And so everybody has something to say about this. So while not every therapist is going to take you for ice cream and bubble gum, you can find a therapist that will do family therapy with you so that everybody can heal together. Mm. Okay? Because first of all, you guys have what it takes to do family therapy. You got a good foundation. A lot of people that come into family therapy, and I have had some, the foundation is cracked and they can't put it back together. You have a good foundation. You have awareness. You know where the abandonment issues come from. Awareness is everything. When you have people that are, nope, that ain't my fault. I don't know what her problem is. When you have that, you can't function. You guys don't have that. You guys have awareness. You know what you're walking into. You know where the holes are. When you know where the holes are, you can fill them up. You fill them up with love. You fill them up with understanding. You fill them up with good work. You have a survivor and a thriver. You're a role model. In, out, or wherever, you're always present. Present doesn't mean always physical. Present is a peace of mind. Present is being there when I call. Present is you gonna get in this bed with me when I'm sick, when I'm shot. Present is being there when I actually need you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because not once did she say, my mama left me. She didn't say that. When she said abandonment issues, she didn't say that. And I didn't even think about you. Sorry, Dad. But that's not what I thought about. So we have to be careful when we talk about presence. Presence isn't always being physical. Okay? Because think about when people who we love pass away. We're energy. We never dissipate. We only change form. Okay? You ever have a loved one pass away and you still feel like they're with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing here.
She said, I know she may not remember everything. She told me when she was running, when she had a moment, she felt like she like blacked out. She seen my grandma who passed away, and she said that she told her that God was going to save you, or God was gonna.
That was gonna be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because our ancestors, they come for us.
Yeah.
If you're a believer, whether it's God, Goddess, universe, higher power, they're here for us. So I would encourage you definitely to get your own individual therapy. It's different when you're an adult.
Yeah.
I might have some candy in my office. I ain't gonna take you out for ice cream, girl. We might not come back. But I might have some candy or a sand tray where you could draw in the sand or something.
Okay.
But we would definitely have a good time. But it's finding a therapist that matches your energy, that matches your vibe. And often for us, it does make a difference when you have a therapist that looks like you.
Yeah.
Okay? That when you walk in the room, their eyes look at you and it says, I see you. You don't even have to say a word, I got you. And you can sit down and you've already spoken without saying a word. That feels good. And then you can talk.
Yeah.
Okay? But family therapy would be, I think, amazing for all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? And again, I think you are a brave soul. I look forward to seeing whatever it is you're going to do with your life. You're going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. And worry doesn't have to be a part of your story, but you're going to have to work to change that because we all worry.
Yeah.
But let's worry about the tiger now. If you see a tiger, I want you to run. Okay. But if you see a crowd of people, I don't want you to be like, oh my God, I can't do that. I want you to be able to be like, what you're doing today.
Yeah.
This took courage and bravery to do this.
Yeah.
And you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
I kept you up here way longer than I know you wanted to be. But you did really, really well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You did really well. And your support system came up to do exactly what they've always been doing. They supported you.
Yeah.
Okay. If there is in any of you, any takeaways that you would like for our audience to have is for you, Dalia. Is there any takeaway that you would want the audience to know about your story?
Honestly, I just want to say, put the guns down. Like, it's too much, honestly. And we're too young. Like I lost 2 friends last year from gun violence. Like, it's just accidental and on purpose. So it's just too much, you know. It's just find other ways. Like, we don't always have to be violent either. Like, you know, I feel like everybody just is trying to prove too much. Our youth is just trying too much to prove, and it's the parents too. But yeah, that's my takeaway. That's what I want people to know.
Thank you. I think that is great. Any takeaways for you guys?
I have a takeaway. I have a quick question.
Sure.
What would you say for someone in Veda's shoes? So having to be that support system, but at the same time, this was an issue. Like at the same time, having her parents or her people she's supporting taken away because now all my attention was on healing her or this, and then now she's feeling like
left out.
left out. And I can see that and sense that. We've talked about it, but not just maybe once. And when we did, it was a moment, because it's something that then she's been keeping in. So even like your strength, you know what I'm saying? I applaud you, like as the sister, as the best friend, as the daughter, as the one who's like, look, yo, I'm not sneaking out. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but everyone's attention now is on this sibling and then this sibling. And she's a middle child, so I don't know if all the middle child.
Yeah. That middle child thing is real. It's real.
It is real. And I didn't realize how real it was till I had the three of mine. I know my sister's a middle child. We always like, man, you're just so different. But I get and I have friends who are middle childs, and there's something.
There's a
and so like for her though, like I just that's a concern too. Before my takeaway.
No, that's okay. But before your time, and I think that's a really important thing. And it's not so much what she can do, but it's what you can do. And part of what you can do is what you just did, is that you acknowledged it and that you have conversations with her. And then for you to be able to speak up and say what you need. Closed mouth don't get fed. Okay? You are important. And often the middle child goes off to themselves because everybody else is taking care of everybody else. So they're left to fend for themselves. And it's not intentional, but that's who they end up being. And they often pull away from the family. And everybody's like, well, why did it? Because they've been doing that. They've been doing that. So you speaking up for yourself and asking for what you need, but mom and sister making sure that Veda is seen and heard. Okay? Because I know you love her, but making sure that she's seen and heard. Because you're quiet, aren't you?
Yeah.
Quiet people, we often get left because we're so quiet, nobody thinks, and you take care of yourself.
Not around them. These are the only people who really know me, for real.
Good.
So that's why when it all happened, I wasn't it was just because basically ever since I was little, I always wanted to be with my mom way more than my dad, no offense, but
sometimes it is what it is.
Yeah, and especially I didn't see them a lot because they basically lived with each other, and I was just back with my dad's, and especially during that time, all I wanted to be was with my mom and my sister, and I just didn't see them anymore. So that was sad about that.
So another feeling of feeling left out. Okay. And now you don't have to be. So rebranding and rebuilding what that relationship looks like for the three of you or the four of you. Oh, forget your son. Look, now we're forgetting somebody else. But rebranding what that looks like and rebranding this like what you all want it to look like. But again, you have what it takes because you already have that awareness. You already did what you're wanting to do, just more of that. Okay? And asking for what you need, not being silent. Okay? Yeah. You're doing great, Mom. Sometimes we beat ourselves up as mothers, and we will always do that because we think, oh, I should have did this. It doesn't come with the book. And many people write books about it. This is on-the-job training. It is on-the-job training. We're gonna make mistakes, okay? So if you're doing it with love, with intention and awareness, it's the best you can do. You're asking questions. You know how many people don't ask questions and they just do what they think is right? They never stop to ask their children how they're feeling. You're asking questions.
Yeah.
And you're giving space for them to be themselves. We're not of that age anymore where children should be seen and not heard. That's very dangerous. That is very dangerous. We are where I want to see you and I want to hear you. Even if I don't like what you have to say, I want to know if I'm being a crappy mom, if I said something you didn't like, and I might be like, well, you didn't like it, but that's what I meant. But at least you get to say that to me. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay?
I am that way with them.
Okay.
You have a takeaway?
You have a takeaway?
Yeah, but you're going for me.
Okay. I guess my takeaway is just
What advice would you give to somebody?
in my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like she said, just to speak up, even like, cause me, I don't really like all the like, cause I know it wasn't about me, but you know, you still like something, you still like have trauma from something. So just because someone has bigger trauma than you doesn't mean it's like doesn't make yours any less. So I feel like you should always speak up about something, how you feel.
Very well said. I love that.
Yeah,
Very well said.
That's good. Oh.
I know. Aren't you proud? I'm proud.
Okay. My takeaway from there's so many takeaways, but I think overall for me as a parent, as a non-traditional parent, because I am not Betty Crocker, but at the end of these are my 3 heartbeats, these two, and I don't know what I would do like without them. They've made me a better person, more motivated like in this industry, like what I want. They have set the bar high in my life, like because of them. So like you said, I appreciate you saying just because you may not physically be present doesn't mean you're present, because I will drive 10 hours to see them sing for 3 minutes and go back to work, and I've done so, like, but it doesn't look like everything else. So I would say what I have done though as a parent, I tried to do everything that I didn't get. And I literally was a few months ago, I asked them, I said, I'm doing everything that I feel like I didn't get from my parents. Do you guys even want this?
That's a good question.
And so genuinely like listening to your children. Yes, you birthed them. Yes, we are responsible for them. But yes, they are their own individual human beings. And to really like listen to your children and don't take what there's any signs or what they're saying for granted, because they're humans as well, and they have feelings and they have a voice, and kids nowadays are smarter than what we were when we were born. But just to truly listen, and not just hearing but listening to them and taking it in, and I think that just will make us better parents, better human beings, and keeping God first, like always. At the end, I couldn't do it. I would have been gone if it wasn't for God right now saving me. So, yeah, just take a listen to the kids, because, like Whitney Houston said, I believe the children are our future.
So, thank you guys. I don't have words. Amazing. I would like to say somebody made fun of me and Dalia for our storytelling because they think that we are brief and concise, which we are, which is a good thing, but somebody made fun of us. Dalia, we did a bomb job. We did a bomb job. So I want to thank you, Dinesha, Veda, Dalia. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. I would have you again and again. And always, you guys, remember, life is always better with you here. Thank you and have a blessed day.